The news about Jesus continued to travel across Galilee like a flame spreading through dry grass. Villages that had once been quiet began filling with conversations about the teacher from Nazareth. Some people believed they had found the one promised by the prophets. Others questioned how a simple carpenter could speak with such authority. But Jesus was not seeking fame or power. He traveled through towns, synagogues, and countryside paths, teaching people about the kingdom of God. His message was unlike anything many had heard before. He spoke not only about religious laws, but about mercy, forgiveness, love, and the transformation of the human heart. One of the places where his influence grew rapidly was near the Sea of Galilee. Fishermen, farmers, merchants, and families gathered around him. They came carrying their illnesses, their struggles, and their hopes. Among the crowds were people whom society had forgotten: the poor, the sick, the rejected, the lonely. Jesus welcomed them all. One day, Jesus went up onto a mountainside, and a large crowd gathered around him. This moment became known as the Sermon on the Mount, one of the most famous teachings in history. The people expected a powerful speech about politics or rebellion against Rome. Many Jews hoped the Messiah would raise an army and restore Israel's independence. But Jesus spoke about something deeper. He said that the blessed were not only the wealthy or powerful, but also the humble, the merciful, and those who sought righteousness. He taught people to love their enemies, forgive those who hurt them, and pray sincerely rather than seeking attention. His words challenged the way many people understood greatness. In a world controlled by status and power, Jesus taught that true greatness came through serving others. The message was revolutionary. It did not call for violence against Rome. It called for a change within the human heart. As Jesus continued teaching, more people followed him. But opposition also began to grow. Some religious leaders admired his wisdom, while others became concerned. They questioned his authority and watched carefully, searching for reasons to criticize him. Yet the crowds continued coming. They had seen things they could not explain. One evening, Jesus and his disciples entered a boat to cross the Sea of Galilee. The lake was surrounded by mountains, and sudden storms were common. Without warning, powerful winds began to blow. Waves crashed against the boat, filling it with water. The disciples, many of whom were experienced fishermen, became terrified. They believed they were going to die, but Jesus was sleeping peacefully. Desperate, they woke him and cried, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" Jesus stood and looked at the raging storm. Then he spoke, "Peace, be still." According to the gospel accounts, the wind stopped and the waters became calm. The disciples looked at each other in amazement. They had seen him heal people. They had heard his teachings. But now they witnessed something that made them ask a deeper question. Who is this man that even the wind and the waves obey him? As Jesus' reputation grew, more desperate people came seeking help. One day, a large crowd gathered near him because a synagogue leader named Jairus approached with a heartbreaking request. His young daughter was dying, and he begged Jesus to come and heal her. Jesus agreed and followed him. Along the way, another miracle happened. A woman who had suffered from a serious illness for 12 years quietly approached Jesus from behind. She believed that even touching his clothing would bring healing. When she touched him, she was immediately healed. Jesus stopped and asked who had touched him. The disciples were confused because thousands of people surrounded them. But Jesus knew something had happened. The woman stepped forward, trembling with fear. Instead of rejecting her, Jesus spoke with kindness and called her daughter. He restored not only her health, but also her dignity. When Jesus finally arrived at Jairus' house, the people were mourning because the girl had already died. Many believed the situation was hopeless. But Jesus entered the room, took the girl's hand, and spoke words of life. The child opened her eyes. The impossible had happened. Stories like these spread throughout the region. Jesus was no longer just a teacher. He was becoming known as a healer, a miracle worker, and for many, the hope of Israel. Yet with every miracle, the question became stronger. Who was Jesus really? A prophet? A king? Or something far greater?